Hello guys, welcome to another tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to be making this dress. So let's just get right into the video. So for this dress I made use of 2 yards and it wasn't enough. I'm more on a smaller size, and my bust is 32 and my hip is 34, so I'm more on a smaller size. So if you want to get a crepe fabric for yourself, make sure you get at least 2.5 yards if you're also on the smaller size, and maybe 3 yards or more if you are on a much larger size. So I started off by ruling a straight line at the upper part of the dress, as you can see, and I also went ahead to take my measurement from that point down to the full length of the dress, after which I also ruled out a line, although you are not seeing it, but that was what I did at the end of the dress as well. If you are watching this video right now, make sure you like the video. It helps the algorithm to boost our videos. That's your way of supporting this channel, and thank you. If you are just seeing me for the first time, I'm Cecilia, and this is where I document all my sewing process throughout this sewing journey, and I would like you to join the family by hitting the subscribe button. So I went ahead to take my neck measurements. That's how wide and long I want the neck to be. So I just took both the front and back neck measurements. I went in from the midpoint of the shoulder by 3. I came down by 4 for the front part, and I came down by 1 for the back part. So that was just all I did here, and I used my curve ruler to just curve out the lines. So I went ahead to take my shoulder to shoulder measurements, of course dividing it by 2, and then I went down by 1 first, and then I went back again to measure it, to take my chest measurements. So I just use my straight ruler to connect those points together, as you are seeing in the video. After which I went ahead to impute my bust length, waist length, and my hip length, and I just drew a straight line across each length so I can have a better dimension to work with. After that, I went in with my round bust, which I've divided by 4, also the waist, my round waist, and my round hip. If you notice, at each measurement, that's the round bust, I added 3 inches, because what we are making is an A-line dress, so we want that space in between. So I added 3 inches for the extension, that's for the seam allowance, which is not really a seam allowance though. And then I mapped out the midpoint of my shoulder to chest line and went in by ½ inches at that point, and then just connect all those lines with my armhole ruler. After that, I connected the points together from my bust to my hip, and then I'm just going to connect that down to the hem line of the dress and cut it out. After which I started taking my dad's measurements, which is about 3.5, so that we'll be able to fix that part. Then I went down by 2 from my waistline. I went down by 2 from my waistline, and I went down by 1 from my breast point. You understand? So I just connected those lines together. I notched my waistline and notched that line that I connected together, and just went ahead to cut it open, so that by the time we are fixing in our loop, it's not going to give us any problem. This is the remaining fabric, and I just have to manage it for the sleeve, so don't get too yards though. So I just decided to take the measurement of the sleeve and also cut the sleeve off camera. If you haven't watched the video where I drafted the basic sleeve pattern, make sure you watch it so you understand how I cut the sleeve. I only used the pattern to cut out the sleeve off camera. So here is my sleeve, and I also cut out some scraps, but for the sleeve I left some space. You can see I did not take that shape of my sleeve pattern. I did not take the shape of my sleeve pattern. I just cut it straight because there will be an elastic band at the hem of the sleeve. So these are the scraps I cut out because I'm left with no fabric at all. So this is the little fabric that I have, and I have to make a rope and loop from it. So I'm just going to go ahead and join those together. Also, because I don't want to use a bias for the neck, I decided to use a China material as my lining. I couldn't get the lining, so I got a China material. So I'm just going to cut half, like just from the shoulder parts to the chest line, and I'm just going to be doing that as well for the back part of the dress. So here are the scraps. I've gone ahead to arrange them, sew them together, and I've cut the loops. I cut 20 pieces, so 10 for each side and 5 for each holes. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark where I want to be fixing the loop in. First, I'll come down by 1 inch from the point of the opening and go up by 1 inch from that waist part of the opening. That's the hole that we cut, as you can see in the video. And I'm just going to be dividing them with my tape measurements. So I got the mid part, and then I still went ahead to divide the rest to get my mark. And I'll just go ahead with the loops and just watch the video and understand what I did there. So basically what I'm doing is I'm fixing the loop inside that hole. Yes, inside that hole at the wrong side of the material. You understand? So by the time I turn the material, you will see how it's going to look like. So I'm just fixing in the loop, and I would pin it so it's going to stay in place. I'm fixing those loops at that point where I marked, at the point where I marked. So here is how it looks like at the front part of the dress, and I'll just put in my rope inside the loop for me to see if it's okay, if the space is enough for the rope to pass through. And I'll just go ahead to do the same for the front and back of my dress. So guys, I had to do a whole lot of things off camera. I went ahead to fix this like I showed you in the video. I fixed this, and then I fixed in my elastic band. For your elastic band to get the accurate measurement, all you have to do is just to measure the round wrist, and then you go ahead and cut the band and fix it into the fabric after when you must have sewed it. I used half an inch to sew it in, like the total was 1 inch and folding it in and everything. So I went ahead to also fix the sleeve into my dress. Now for this part, it has a zip at the back, of course, and yeah, because I want this part to be so smooth and I don't want any lump, that's why I did not use bias to tape the neck. I used a China 9 linen instead, so I just cut half of it. I used hemming gum before, as you can see, but I did not like the turnout. It became very stiff at the upper part, so I decided to remove it, even if that is not good, but I decided to remove it. And here is what we have inside. So I'll just take this to where I'm going to do the overlocking. So that is just it. It's so easy to make and very comfortable. So right now I'm just going to fix in my ropes that I have before, that I have done before now. So here is the rope, and I'm just going to fix it in. So when fixing your rope, make sure it's straight so you don't end up having problems with it. So just going ahead and so at this point my rope is not looping, so I have to reduce at least it's a rope to some aspects. Like I said earlier, for this style I used 2 yards of fabric, so that is why my fabric is not enough. I mean, that's why my rope is not enough. I'm more on the petite side. My bust is 32 and my hip is 34, so I guess I can have my cake and eat this one on the fabric. But if you know, don't try and manage fabric, or don't try and manage fabric if you are going to be sewing this style, so that you don't end up regretting not getting enough fabric. You understand? Because this style consumes fabric in as much as it's beautiful, it consumes fabric as well. So I've done this part, and I'm just going to do this same for the other parts off camera. So I've gone ahead to do this both sides, and this is what we are having. You can see my measurement is very small, so that's why I can get away with it. So here is the outcome of the dress. Here is the outcome of the dress. I hope you like it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, this is the time to subscribe and like. Make sure you share this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.